President Trump is once again setting his sights on Greenland, this time with an even more aggressive approach that threatens international diplomacy.
I think Greenland will be worked out with us. I think we're going to have it. And I think the people want to be with us. I don't know really what claim Denmark has to it, but it would be a very unfriendly act if they did allow that to happen, because that's for protection of the free world.
Despite previous mockery, Trump and some House Republicans are pushing a dangerous strategy to potentially acquire this strategically crucial Arctic island through economic and even military pressure. The United States' pursuit of Greenland reveals a geopolitical strategy that bears unsettling similarities to Russia's approach to Ukraine, both driven by calculated efforts to secure strategic assets while marginalizing local sovereignty. Both nations view their targets primarily through a lens of national security, prioritizing strategic positioning over the self-determination of smaller territories. For the United States, Greenland represents a critical Arctic strategic asset with significant strategic value, presenting military and resource potential. Greenland is positioned as a strategic buffer between the U.S. and Russia, but also to an extent to China. More, the island's Kufik Space Base, formerly known as Thule Air Base, provides crucial missile early warning capabilities, while its rare earth mineral deposits and potential Arctic shipping routes offer substantial geopolitical advantages. Control of the Arctic shipping lane provides the U.S. with strategic maritime access, potential economic advantages through shorter trade routes, and geopolitical influence in a rapidly changing northern region. Similarly, Russia has viewed Ukraine as a strategic buffer against NATO, valuing its geographic proximity, Black Sea access. Also, Ukraine provides Russia with critical raw materials like metals, minerals. It supplies significant amounts of industrial components, particularly in aerospace, machinery, and electronic sectors. Ukraine exports energy resources, including coal and electricity, to Russia. The country has been a key transit route for Russian natural gas exports to European markets. Before the 2022 invasion, Ukraine was also an important source of skilled labor and technical expertise for Russian industries. Furthermore, Ukraine provides Russia with significant agricultural products, particularly grain and sunflower oil. Historical documents demonstrate a consistent pattern of disregarding local sovereignty. The United States has repeatedly treated Greenland as a potential acquisition rather than an autonomous entity, from William Seward's 19th century territorial ambitions to covert Cold War purchase attempts. Greenland's Prime Minister, Mutiajidi, has explicitly rejected these overtures, stating unequivocally that Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland, a sentiment of national self-determination that Russia has systematically ignored in Ukraine. Greenland isn't just a piece of land. It's a sovereign territory with a proud Inuit majority who have made it crystal clear they will not be bought or intimidated. Greenland's Prime Minister Mutiajidi has firmly stated that Greenland is for the Greenlandic people, rejecting Trump's imperial-style overtures. By attempting to strong-arm Greenland and Denmark, he risks alienating key allies and undermining the cooperative spirit needed for Arctic governance. Both pursuits for a territory deemed strategically valuable for national security are fundamentally driven by great power competition, with the U.S. seeking to counter growing Chinese and Russian Arctic influence, while Russia aims to prevent NATO expansion. This reflects a broader global dynamic where major powers attempt to expand their spheres of influence at the expense of smaller nations' autonomy. While the specific contexts differ, these scenarios raise questions about international law, self-determination, and the rights of smaller nations facing great power interests. The parallels serve as a stark reminder that geopolitical ambitions often prioritize national interests over fundamental principles of international respect and self-determination. Whether in the Arctic or Eastern Europe, the pattern remains consistent: powerful nations attempting to strategically position themselves, often at the cost of local populations' rights and aspirations. But now to you. What are your thoughts on this? Is the parallel drawn between U.S., Greenland, and Russia, Ukraine valid? Is it too far reached? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.